Okay, so welcome back to Tyranny. We are the new overlord. We only became. The funny thing was, I became an archon, and then 30 minutes later, I became an overlord, and my boss is now serving under me. I just thought it was a funny thing, like, hey, I'm giving you a title archon, and then 30 minutes later, hey, I'm the new overlord. Fuck you. Fuck your title. But anyway. Believe we had to go to the mountain spire. Alright. But just in case. I think research artifacts. It's a long time. But I think it'll be ready. So we may have to go to the forge. Is it the forge? No, it's the library. But in any case, go to the forge. I think I need to get some more iron, but they're not giving me any. Because I want to make that dagger. I guess that's as good as any. But anyway. What is this? Ash's favor. Vigilance. 5% health while it has wounds. Every 6 cents. Huh. Why, thank you. Then anyway though. Just how much I have plenty. Probably make something for me though. Since I don't think there's a javelin artifact. So where's that one? Yeah, I'll take 7 of those, so that'll be good. So begin crafting that. Then quick save. Alright. And let's go to the mountain spire to proclaim the edict on the north. I hope this is a long chapter. Act 2 was pretty good. Act 1 was just the establishment, but then Act 2 is pretty good. Makes me want to play it again. Under a new character and everything. A different path. Alright, anything for me? Oh, hey, what is this? Could I sell my campfires? Is that a thing? But definitely sell all these. These are plans. Alright, so Assassin, Slugfish, Herbalist, Horde. Eh. Sell this. Sell this. Iron Axe. Just make sure they're not the ones there. Crimson Grace Bear, nothing special about it, so. Can't sell the campfires though. It's kinda sad. Cause I definitely have a lot I didn't pick up. Like, could I just, save it. But anyway. This probably amounts to the declaration of war against the Overlord. Any requests? Concentrate, mutter something gently, test the... This probably amounts to the Ready? So this is it. Before this, I was nothing important. Thanks for letting me tag along. Oh. Opportunity. You've done great things to get here. It's only 4. I bet she'll say something if I had her max loyalty. The north. We could proclaim the Edict Malediction, which I took. So what is this? Will twist the strands of fate, causing misfortune and bad luck to plague your enemy. What? That's such a thing? But it gives me 2 armor, weakened Bane. But look at all this. He issued the edict. But don't we still have an edict? Wait. That was it? By casting the Edict of Malediction on the northern capital, you consign the Overlord's city to an invisible plague of misfortune and calamity. The foundations of once proud buildings fracture under some unseen pressure, and whole districts empty as the city's uh, infrastructure, infrastructure crumbles. Laborers brought in to repair the damage find their work undone hours or even minutes later. Citizens leave the city, a ghost town, and whisper among themselves how Kairos could allow such a curse to inflict their homeland. As chaos ensued in the northern kingdom, the armies marching on the tiers received an unprecedented order. The armies were to fall back to the capital and ensure the safety of its people from the edict. For the first time in Kairos' great conquest, the armies retreated. Soon questions would be asked in a hushed breath across the lands about what new and terrible power had emerged that could force the hand of the Overlord. You fulfilled Kairos' decree, and all the tiers is now ruled by a single Archon. Your former rivals have either submitted to you or perished, bringing the civil war to a close. The Scarlet Chorus may have been mighty in numbers, but that didn't stop you from thoroughly scattering them, cutting off the serpent's head and sending each of the gangs howling back to the chaos they sowed. How the remnants of the horde occupied themselves without a war to fight becomes a topic for nightmares. It was thought that the disfavored would never rally under another general, but by enlisting Graven Ash to your cause, you managed the next best thing, controlling the Archon to harness the strength of the Northern Empire. You recognize their old-fashioned remedies with a new chain of command, placing yourself at its highest authority. The Legion's victories spread beyond count, and your soldiers trained hard, preparing for the retaliation to come. Under your guidance, those who resisted the conquest and sowed discontent are vanquished. Their rebellion brought to a decisive end. Any lingering question of who is true ruler of the tiers is answered by your impact on the reconstructed nation. Word of your success spreads beyond the tiers as well. Even the most distant corners of the Empire whisper of the Fatebinder who rose to become an Archon, and an Archon whose intervention shattered the conquest, making way for a new future in the devastated nation. Uniting the tiers under the banner of the disfavored was never your directive, and yet you performed it admirably. Consolidating the Overlord's forces under your rule and grooming the tiers for their place in a new order. The same people who once hurled curses across a siege soon learned to think of themselves as part of a greater whole extending beyond their modest borders. With the Edict of Stone dispelled, the earth around the Stone Sea finally settles, leading everyone to believe the realm of Azure will return to its former glory. But the ritual used to end the edict blighted the land to such a degree that nothing will grow, no matter how hard anyone tries. With determination, some are able to start small seedings, but nothing ever comes of it. Sorry! The memory of Karen as a great force of destruction remains as a monument of insert rock. Most agree that the world is better off without the Archon of Stone, as the people of Azure, begin to slowly reclaim the land that was once torn asunder by his power. As the strongest and oldest of their kind, the death of the Stonestalkers is a blow to Beastman culture. Their demise also brings centuries of oral traditions to an abrupt end. The local tribes never recover from the terrible loss. With Karen's essence preserved and the lands of Azir permanently blighted, the Earthshakers return to the disfavored. While their reputation isn't what it used to be, their success in dealing such a decisive blow to the Scarlet Chorus by removing their main source of food has earned back the respect of the Legion. The Earthshakers are accepted back into the ranks of the disfavored, once again becoming part of the army that helped subdue the Tears. With the unbroken all but destroyed, the former citizens of Stalwart threatened to slide into lawlessness. Kairos' forces stationed at Sentinel Stand managed to quell the worst of the uprisings, but peace under the nation's new leadership is resisted at every turn. Amelia returns to Graven Ashen's fort at Ironrath with her baby, the former heir of Stalwart. Her presence brings unease to the disfavored, who don't know what to make sure of the circumventual traitor. How she navigates the future you impose on Teratus will be her decision. Though it takes time to recover from the devastation of the Edict of Storms, the Blade Grave begins its slow march toward healing. The realm of Stalwart may never resemble its former glory, but the land is not so blasted that something new and better can't be built atop the bones of the past. The Regent bloodline has ended. With it, new traditions and legacies spring to life. Your travels never took you to the burning library, and this leaves the Edict of Fire undisturbed, consigning the Vellum Citadel to a future engulfed by perpetual flame. With their archon knowledge beyond reach, the school of Ink and Quill falls into steep decline, your name becoming a curse in their embedding ranks. Yeah, I took one travel instead of the other. I thought we could go to it and lift the edict, but apparently we don't have the option. By withholding the Magebane helm from Lethian's crossing, you sabotage the city's protection against the Bane, haunting its borders from inside the old walls. Sensing the vulnerability in its defenses, an unstoppable wave of Bane invade Lethian's crossing, wreaking havoc and causing a catastrophic loss of life. The few ragged survivors abandon the city to the scores, never to return. Whoops. But what about the Spire? That By enacting an edict on Veteran's Well, you announced your power to the world and showed Kairos' forces what you were capable of. When you defeated their leader and scattered the army before you, it sent the message to Kairos. A new Archon is born. While the edict dissipated, its effects will always be felt as the first true threat to Kairos' rule. Graven Ash continues to lead the disfavored, this time bowing to your superior command. At first, the old general balks at your instructions, but in time, he grows to trust your judgment without question. Working together, you bring much needed order to the lawless Tears. Let's see, killing the voices on the Ra spreads the joy of bloody vengeance across the continent, celebrated as the death of history's greatest parasite. The occasion is marked by all who suffered under the oppression of the Scarlet Chorus. Even in victory, one thought nags you. Though you witnessed his death, you can't help but wonder if the voices on the Rot is done with you. Teuton, the adjudicator, continues to dispense justice from his seat in the Bastard City. He follows the laws you craft to the letter, advising on any of the meticulous changes you lack the time or the patience to draft. Without his aid, the task of keeping order in the Tears would be nigh impossible. The death of Bleeding Mark derived the world of a most capable murderer. One less bedtime story to scare children is no significant loss, though you can't help but glance at the dark corners of every room and feel as if something is watching you. Bleeding Mark will always cast a long shadow on your life. Oh hey! Not content to enjoy the fruits of victory, Barrick positions himself among the rank and file of your supporters, organizing troops around their strengths and making sure each pulls their weight. His armor clings to him as doggedly as ever, though he wears it with a straighter back and a lighter step than he did before. A team of loyal camp followers polish his plates to a respectable sheen each morning, and the smell that escapes his visor has notably improved. Medals of valor decorate his breastplate, and adoring supporters drape garlands of flower about his patrons. Life is good for the towering soldier. Is this seriously the end? That was Act 3? Ah, I wanted to fight Kairos in his or hers, whatever, army and destroy him or her. Verse finds herself adrift in the relative peace that follows your conquest. She returns to the field and seeks out young women from rural communities, imparting her fighting skills to only the most passionate. Only over the course of many apprentices, she follows the voices on the Rot example and forms a personal army, the Callous Sisterhood. Verse proves to be a strict teacher, and you hire her services often, confident that she'll take any assignment where there's blood to be spilled. Landry keeps a close watch over you, scribbling his account of your deeds and accomplishments. In his tireless quest to fill the chronicle with history and knowledge, he follows you even into his twilight years, and together you learn much about the world. You pretend not to notice Landry's waning strength, though you find yourself pausing mid-sentence to let his writing catch up. He recognizes your generous ruse and appreciates it in silence. Aww. Eve remains in your company, where she seeks out promising recruits among your supporters. After recognizing some obvious talent, she takes on a team of apprentices in a new school of would-be tidecasters, though she often jokes that the school is bound to fail with her at the helm. Her students think otherwise. So do the many dozens of hopefuls who come begging for her tutelage, whatever that means. Kills and Shadows shows little interest in cleaning up the tears after your victory. Instead, she takes it upon herself to hunt down every disfavored soldier that will not submit to your rule. Word gets back to you of maulings and disappearances among Kairos' ranks, perpetuated by a beast of legendary ferocity. Though you could track down your wayward companion, you let her continue to work her own way, bloody, yet effective. Without the threat of the Overlord's control, Siren struggles with how to manage her freedom. Inspiration finally strikes her, and she travels the tiers, visiting the small villages ravaged by Kairos' occupation. She sings to the frightened and hurt villagers, bowing with their spirits and allaying their fears. Guilt for her hand in the horrors wrought upon the world by the Scarlet Chorus spurred her on, and her wonders became more and more spectacular. The followers of the Songbird grow in number, taking the message of peace and harmony throughout Terratis. Though you once professed loyalty to Kairos, popular belief holds that the world cannot support two overlords, and you now represent a threat to the established order. This leaves your future in question, with but one certainty: when Kairos retaliates, you will be ready. From your perch atop the ancient spire, you can see hints of the Northern Empire just beyond the mountains. At your command, horns shout a triumphant cry across the valley, heralding the end of one long campaign and the beginning of another. And that's the end. Wow. I can't help but say I'm disappointed because that was short. That was really short. The act wasn't an act, it was an ending. But well, it was abrupt. That was really an abrupt ending. But that doesn't mean I dislike it. This was a great game. This really was a great game. And well, I didn't think I'll complete it that fast, but I did. And the choices, they're all so good. But one thing is for sure, I didn't think I would become Overlord. I thought I'd be serving. I wanted to be kind of the bad guy. But at the same time, I kind of want to save people. But this works. This fucking works. I accept it. And this is awesome. This was a really awesome game. I just wish I probably spent more time learning the lore, because holy shit, there was so much of it. So much magic I could do. And I know it's separate from the talents, but there was so much I could do there. So, and I wanted to test out like every spell that I could make. But maybe in the if they're making a DLC, I hope they're making a fucking DLC to continue my character and rule over the North and take down the Overlord. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, what I said is done. Game was great, story, combat, even everything about it. The only thing I guess I regret about was some of the choices I made, like the Mage Bane helm. It was like, I thought the Bane was gone, but it appears not so. So I left the village to die. And I kind of regret that, but I'll know later in my next playthrough. I'm thinking really hard about it, and I think I'm gonna go and make another character and start a brand new playthrough. So that is it. That is the ending of the game. But I feel like I'm gonna do another playthrough. So that'll come later. So right now, have a good day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough and this game if you already have it.